And the thing too is like, you know, I know that like for you as a Hmong person, you have an heritage and you all can talk about your heritage and where you all came from and like there's like some history there.
Yeah.
Um, for me as an African American, I don't know what part of Africa I'm from.
Yeah.
You know, I just know that I originated from Africa, but my heritage is more American than anything. You
Mm,
know, slaves were brought here to this country nearly 100 years, over 150 years before the country even came into place. You know, the first Africans were coming over on the ship in the early 1600s, and America didn't become a country until 1776. So we're like pre-America. So
mm,
you get what I'm saying? So like we're pre-America, and this is like our home. I don't know anything other than being an American.
yeah.
But you know, I can't go nowhere. I can't go back to nowhere because this is what I know, you know.
Yeah.
Um, but when you feel like your country doesn't accept you, um, and really wants you gone, that's scary, that's sad,
Mm,
and it's heartbreaking, you know. And you know, as just an African American, you know, I know that Black people here in America has given so much to this country to help make it what it is.
yeah.
There's a lot of history, you know,
Yeah.
and it feels like, do you not see the history or the value that we have given to America? And
Yeah.
it's like, no, we don't, or no, we don't care. And I think that's just sad and pathetic, and it's not right. And, you know, it's time for people to really say, okay, you know, let's put some things in place so that these things don't continue to happen because it ends up being a snowball effect. Um, not only on just the Black community, but I just think the entire country, um, with these like injustices that keep happening.
Yeah. Yeah. No, so um I think I think one thing, as you know, this weekend, just trying to being in Minneapolis and processing stuff. One thing that has caught my attention was, yeah, like my people have only been here for 30, 40 years, right? As refugees from the Vietnam War. And I could see the disparity. So I have 30 years of experience living here. I could see the disparity already and always be on the outs, right? And so I empathize for the Black community. And so I don't fully understand, but I empathize because we get snippets of, biases and injustices that do happen that the media doesn't say anything, and our protests, like, as nobody hears us. And so there's like little, kind of just, experiences of just like a glimpse of what the Black community feels or understand or sees every day for like the last 400 years or whatnot. But I think for just I can just speak for the Hmong community. I think we could relate a little bit to the Black community because we don't have a motherland. We don't have a country. We're tribal
Right.
people that have been pushed from Southeast China, oppressed and lost so many wars. So our leaders just never won a war ever. So it's a pretty big group, but because it's a pretty big group, and we lost every war, we've had to migrate down to Southeast Asia. And for us, like, to me, I don't even consider Laos, where my parents are from,
Mhm.
um, is a country that we can proudly say. Like, I don't think I've ever said like I will go back to the motherland or Laos, as like I identify that as my identity, because we've never had a country or a land or a territory for ourselves. And so for me, I think for me, I'm kind of with you of just like America is kind of my country because we
Yeah,
don't have a country where we're orphaned people, and I'm not saying that Hmong people are, or the black in America are, or but there are a lot of tribal people in the world that don't have a country, and we fall into that other category,
yeah,
and so it's like I don't think Laos or Thailand, where my parents were in refugee camps, were my country at all, because Laos is for the Laotians, and so, or I guess, on paper that's what it is,
right,
so
right. And you hit it on the head though. You do feel like an orphan in this country, and it's okay to be adopted
yeah,
if you're adopted.
yeah.
But when you feel like you're an orphan and you're not accepted, it's like
Mhm.
I wish I never adopted you,
Yeah,
or accepted you in my house. But since I did, I can't get rid of you. But I really don't want you here.
that's so good.
Yeah, that's how I feel as a black man in America. Is like I feel like I'm here, I'm allowed to be here, but I'm really not wanted here. That's how I feel sometimes, not all the time.
Yeah,
And it's like because of the system and some of the things that are in place, and it shouldn't be like that. You shouldn't feel that way,
yeah,
but it is what it is, and there's a lot of games being played with the media. I can go down a laundry list of just how they view or the narrative that they put on the black community, and oftentimes it's not positive, and it's not good, man. It's the systematic racism
yeah,
that's the issue. It's not John the KKK member
uh,
racist. I don't. You don't see that. Like that's different. Like that's a human being that has some issues. And I think that a lot of, for the most part, most of America, they don't see racism because they don't see the KKK walking down the street. They don't see John the KKK member. Like the outlandish people that is like, okay, they're racist. They don't really see that, so they think there's no racism here in America. But there is racism in America. It's just disguised, just like how you were saying, up in Minnesota, it's disguised and it looks different. And for the most part, for for African Americans, I feel like it's disguised in the system.
yeah,
Systematic racism is a
mm,
huge issue, and that can be fixed. you know that can be fixed. It does have to come from government and from leadership and everything else, and laws have to be put in place to make sure that these things just don't happen, so that
mm,
we can have the country that it's supposed to be,
yeah,
where there's freedom for all. But right now it doesn't feel like there's freedom for all.